The fermentation is over, the tank is gone quiet, so the wine is made, right? Well, not exactly. For the winemaker, this is where the real work, the real art, is just getting started. This is where a good wine becomes a great one.
So you gotta ask, the sugar's been turned into alcohol. We're done here, aren't we? But the answer, surprisingly, is no, not even close. What happens in the next few hours, days, and weeks is going to define the very soul of this wine for its entire life.
Okay, so if fermentation is just the starting pistol, what's the first leg of the race? It all comes down to one massive decision: when and how to separate the new wine from the grape skins. This single choice sets the course for everything else.
I mean, think of this as the biggest fork in the road. The winemaker has to decide right here and now what this wine is going to be. Is it going to be a bright, fruity, drink-it-now kind of wine? Or is it destined to be a complex powerhouse red that will age for a decade? That decision is made right here. This is pure craft.
And this critical moment, this great separation, actually has a name. It's called devatting. It's where the winemaker literally splits the batch into two very different parts, each with its own unique character and destiny.
So what's with the big number? 75 to 85%? Well, that's the prime cut. That's the best of the best. It's the amount of wine that just gently drains away from the skins using nothing but gravity. It's the purest stuff, and it's known as flower wine or free-run wine.
And you can see the difference right here. It's like night and day. That flower wine is the star of the show. It's got that deep, intense color. It's bursting with aromas, and its tannins are super soft and silky. Then you have the pressed wine. It's a bit more rugged, more powerful, and extracted under pressure. We'll get to that in just a minute.
So here's the million-dollar question for the winemaker. When do you make the call? When do you drain that beautiful, free-run wine? Do you do it immediately, or do you let it sit and soak for a little while longer? The answer? It totally depends on the winemaker's vision for the final product. Timing is absolutely critical.
And this isn't just a random guess. The winemaker is like a detective, looking at all the clues. You've got a grape like Cabernet Sauvignon that's naturally high in tannins. Well, you might not want to leave it on the skins too long or it'll get way too harsh. But if you had a perfect, healthy vintage, then you can let it ride, building the foundation for a wine that can age for years.
And this chart is basically the winemaker's playbook. Just look at the difference in maceration time. That's how long the wine sits with the skins. For a young, fresh wine, it's about a week. But for a wine built for the long haul, we're talking 3 weeks. And that polyphenol index? Just think of it as a number that represents the wine's backbone. The higher it is, the more structure the wine has, and the better its aging potential.
But what about all those grape skins were left behind in the tank? We're not just going to toss them. No way. They are still soaked with precious wine. So now it's time to bring in a little pressure.
This is the pressed wine. It's that last 15% or so that you gotta squeeze out. Now, it's full of some really potent tannins, and honestly, in a lot of high-end wines, they just get rid of it. But sometimes a winemaker will blend a tiny bit back in to give the final wine a little extra oomph, a little more structure. But this part is a real high-wire act. It's all about being gentle and being fast. If you press too hard, you can actually break the seeds inside, and that releases these bitter, awful tannins. And if you take too long, oxygen gets in and the wine can start to taste green and vegetable. It is a true race against the clock.
And the tools for this job have come a long, long way. On the left, that's a traditional vertical press. It's slow, it's gentle, perfect for small batches of really high-end wine. But on the right, that's the modern horizontal press. It's a marvel of efficiency and precision, and it's what you'll find in most wineries today.
So how does this modern marvel work? It's actually genius. Inside that cylinder, there's a huge inflatable bag. Think of it like a giant, super strong balloon. It slowly fills with air and gently squishes the grapes against the outer wall, which is basically a big screen. The wine flows out, but the pressure is so even and gentle it doesn't crush the seeds. Pretty cool, huh?
So the wine is separated, it's been pressed, and for many wines, the journey would be pretty much over. But for the most ambitious reds, the ones meant to be legendary, we're now entering the world of advanced winemaking. This is where time, tannins, and a very surprising ingredient, oxygen, all come together. This is a really bold move called post-fermentation maceration. Instead of separating the wine right away, the winemaker intentionally leaves it on the skins, sometimes for weeks after the fermentation is finished. What they're doing is building the wine's scaffolding, a strong framework of tannins that's going to support it as it ages and develops incredible complexity.
So what's actually happening on a molecular level? It's a process called polymerization.
Here's an easy way to think about it. The tannins are like the steel girders of a building, and the color molecules, called anthocyanins, are like the rivets holding them together. Polymerization binds them into a stable structure, which locks in the wine's deep color and allows it to age gracefully for years.
But there's a catch. If you just cram a wine full of all these extra tannins, when it's young, it can feel really harsh and astringent. You know, that dry, puckering feeling in your mouth. So how do winemakers get that amazing structure without making the wine unpleasant to drink? Well, they need a secret weapon. And that secret weapon is oxygen. I know, it sounds crazy, right? We're always told oxygen is wine's mortal enemy. But in this case, using a technique called micro-oxygenation, tiny, incredibly controlled doses of oxygen can do wonders. It actually helps to soften up those tannins, basically mimicking years of slow aging in a barrel, but in a much shorter time.
It's really the Goldilocks principle of winemaking. A little bit of oxygen helps a wine mature and develop. Too much, and it's ruined. Micro-oxygenation delivers just the right amount. It helps those long chains of tannins link up, which not only keeps the color stable, but also makes them feel much rounder and more velvety in your mouth.
And this little gadget is how they do it. It's a special stainless steel diffuser that's placed in the tank. It releases a steady stream of microscopic oxygen bubbles. I mean, they are so tiny that they dissolve into the wine instantly, working their magic without any of the bad effects of oxidation.
And the payoff for all this science and art? You got a wine that is truly exceptional. It has a deep, stable color that won't fade. It has a rich, complex structure with layers of flavor. And best of all, the texture is just pure silk. It's balanced, it's elegant, it's everything you want in a great red wine.
So the next time you pour yourself a glass of a big, complex red wine, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, are you tasting the grape? Are you tasting the vineyard? Or are you tasting 1,000 tiny, crucial decisions made by an artist in the cellar, long after the fermentation stopped bubbling?